want you touch them to sue them, you know. They can't they want money, but we not touch them. Pipe on them and tell them. Say people, business are leaving. Hallelujah. Can we sing that song and go on? Come musician. Give me every seat up on the every show. Everybody. God bless you. I want to big up all the minister that minister tonight. They do an excellent job. And you people have to keep on the prayer. Thank you for the support. Hey! One of the people support the CD, them downstairs. All of the people, all of the singers, them have CD. And people now produce gospel music, so when they don't support it, then we can do new songs. So buy a CD, man. If you have it already, buy it and give somebody at the workplace for a gift. And they have a special deal if you buy the 3 album. I'm coming down. Big up the musician, them one rehearsal and then do a good job. Only mountain now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you tonight. In this life, me trial were many. Some of the time them me know say be a foreigner there, you know. So we people do sing it like all me sing it. Here in a feet. Yeah, can't be a foreign people there. Me I bring Jamaica from my jersey, so me I sing it Jamaica way. And sometime me foot them get weary. Oh, and it feel like I would stumble. I know them are gonna say so. Me know them are gonna say fall. But sometimes when my problem come in a fall, you know me know. And it feel like I would stumble and drop a groan. Me know myself, but the jail to lands and leave me. I wish some people that just feel the presence of God tonight. Some people just shout out and warm up your mouth. I said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. On the jail to lands that lead me. Put up your hand and say, lead me, Jesus. It's the hand that lead me steady. You see, I won't leap away one for some millions. Oh, yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Put up on hand tonight and say, Jesus, give me grace that I would make it after all. Can you walk me about and sing? And after just we are man. Yo, some people never know say you're going to live this tonight, you know. I have been through persecution. Put up in our them sisters all are still alive. Tell them, thank God I crossed more some people when most of them cross. Just stand up and say, Holy cross. Yo, let me tell you something. Jesus said when you send up the praises, the blessing of the pour down. Listen, when we leave our home, come here tonight to worship Jesus. So I said they want to sweat up and wake up, just worship Jesus. Because some people never know you're going to see today. Some people never know say you will be here tonight. Tell them say you're not here by chance. You are a purpose. You are been tribulation. Holy Ghost, I love you, Jesus. You have been through persecution. I don't see I put up here and let them say, thank God I cross over. We are going to put a cross tonight. Holy cross over. Listen, me some man stand up stiff like on a drop in a starch. The Bible said David did dancing in close tear up. We're not tear up, not close tonight still. But we are going to worship Jesus. Somebody bring the Bible, come give me, let me be one. Listen, the Bible. The Bible,
good night to Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martini. Once again, it is time for Talking Points. My name is Sheldon Scott. I'll be here with you up until the 10 o'clock hour. It's now 14 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada.
Yeah, I know that really a long time.
And make your Bible your shield, you hear? Condolences to my Jamaican listeners.
Back in the days of
the artist we're hearing now, he died. I think it's on Saturday he died. Yeah, Kukudu. Yeah, he died on Saturday.
Yeah, 4 young men bad like that, you know.
Send condolences to my Jamaican listeners.
Poor woman. So, at least alone they here tonight, because I normally have 4 backup singers. So, you not forgot.
My good friends in the JLP over there, yeah.
Read one verse. After 3, 1, 2, 3, say. Me Bible, Lord. Oh, the Bible.
And saying good night to all of you joining us via the various mediums. Those of you joining us via the Facebook. Those of you on the YouTube. Those of you joining us via We Noise Radio, We Noise TV. Yeah, the We Noise conglomeration. Yeah, that's what you gotta call it. The We Noise conglomeration. Never knew, you know. Next thing you get a We Noise magazine just now. Interesting weekend, wasn't it? Yeah? And to all who we didn't get to, we say a belated Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. We do hope that you enjoyed your special day yesterday. To many of us, every day is Mother's Day, but we know yesterday was the day that we go a little extra, yeah? Indeed, as I said, it's been a very interesting weekend. Just to let you all know, early up tomorrow, I'm still figuring out the logistics of tomorrow. Because tomorrow there is going to be the NNP Connect taking place in Carriacou. What I am not sure on is if our friends in Carriacou will be broadcasting it. So I'm not sure if we are going to be on. If we're going to be, I'm not sure. If we're getting it live, hopefully by the end of the program, I'll get a response. If we are getting it live, then we will not be having Talking Points tomorrow night. We'll be having the NNP Connect. So this one is going to be taking place on I'm just making sure I can bring it on here. Yeah, because for some reason I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Right, yeah. So I'm just making sure I can pull it up here so you all can see. So yeah. So for tomorrow, before the end of the program, hopefully I'll be able to say yes or no. We're having the program for tomorrow. Yeah. Because if we're doing Carriacou tomorrow, we'd like to broadcast. We'd really like to broadcast what is taking place in Carriacou. We've done it for all of the other meetings, and we'd like to do it for Carriacou as well. So NNP Connect, it's taking place out there at Hotel Lorena in Carriacou. That's taking place tomorrow, Tuesday, May the 12th, 2026, starting at 6:30 p.m. The team led by the Honorable Emlyn Pear, leader of His Majesty's Opposition and political leader of the New National Party, as well as chairman of the New National Party, former Prime Minister. And watch, the amount of former, and facts are them things, you can't even say former, you know, because he still is. You understand? Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, he will be there, as well as Senator the Honorable Neilon Cox, Mr. Nimrod Oliver, and our loving sister, Mrs. Nolene Thompson. They'll be out there at Hotel Lorena in Carriacou tomorrow from 6:30 p.m. So we're looking out for that meeting. And Carriacou, we want to broadcast the meeting. Now just hit me a message. Somebody find Senator Cox and tell him, hit me a message, man. You have to WhatsApp me and tell me if they're going to be broadcasting that meeting tomorrow, if it's going to be taped, what is going to be taking place, so we know how we operating for tomorrow. Because, I mean, yeah, we good, you know, we could do it tomorrow as normal, you know. Yeah, but if we have to bring it, we have to bring it. All right, yes, indeed, folks. So that will be taking place tomorrow, once again, at Hotel Lorena, starting at 6:30 p.m. New National Party NNP Connect. All of Mrs. Matterson. Yeah, all of you up there in Carriacou, make sure you find yourself down there, you know. Yeah, make sure you find yourself down there, because I might find myself there too. Make sure you find yourself there. All right, everybody in Carriacou. Piti Matnik come across too. Everybody, tout moun bagay. Everybody come across. Nice? Yeah. So we're heading to Hotel Lorena tomorrow from 6:30 p.m. Let me say a special good night to my friends as well over at John's Unique. Yeah, you're looking for a nice, reasonable place to stay with some nice people in Carriacou. You can check out John's Unique Resort. Go and check them. Yeah, and when you reach there, tell them Sheldon Scott send you. Use my whole name. Sheldon Scott send you. Talking Point send you. Yeah, go by John's Unique Resort. All right, nice. Yeah, and that don't mean you can't go by Hotel Lorena too. You know, them is nice people too. Yeah, Hotel Lorena. I think me and Hotel Lorena may be even related too. Yeah, me and Hotel Lorena. I think we are the same blood running through veins. Yeah. So yeah, Hotel Lorena too. Nice. Yeah, man. So when you go Carriacou, all you know, nice people to stay by and thing, man. All right, beautiful, man. Beautiful. Yeah.
Isn't it strange how princesses and kings
Let me say a very special good night to our lady, Miss Helen Marie. Good night to you, my dear. I see you starring and thing on TV tonight, dear. Helen Marie, girl, I see you starring there tonight and thing. I say, all you want to see what I'm talking about? Man, Helen Marie was starring and thing tonight and thing there. Hey, watch thing. Yeah, watch nice thing tonight.
Bricks and costumes of her shop near the old NIS building, Ms. Helen Marie received a meaningful plaque from Rankin Marvin of the Roman Calypso tent, recognition for decades spent nurturing the spirit of carnival. Year after year, her creative hands dress both young and old alike, ensuring every child, including those from the Queen Elizabeth home, could experience the joy of playing mass. Accepting the award, Ms. Helen Marie reflected on the power of community and creativity. She expressed heartfelt thanks to supporters and family alike.
Awarded to Miss Helen Marie and Associates for decades of producing fancy mass bands nationally, both for children and adults. It is a great pleasure. I hand this over to you and thank you for all the good work you have done for the Caribbean and for Grenada most appropriately.
I am honored. I am flabbergasted. I feel so important to have you two gentlemen come and make my day. I thank you all for accepting my creativity. I do believe in creativity.
Her work as the Calypso tent affirmed is woven into the very fabric of Grenada Carnival, and her legacy will long inspire future generations. Send us your food.
All right, yeah. Thank you, GBN. But thank you, Rankin Marvin. Rankin Marvin, you're a nice one day, man. You go on, you check a nice lady day. Take what I tell you. You check a real nice lady day. Miss Helen Marie. I know I have a friend in Oshawa saying, look, big girl. I laugh at that thing, but we're not getting into some serious thing in a while here, you know. Yeah, I ain't find seeing the numbers I want to see yet, you know. Yeah, get close to it, but I ain't find see the numbers I want to see there yet. Yeah, I ain't find see the numbers I want to see yet. Or you call somebody, tell them Talking Points is on. You never know, we might have a guest tonight, and so I have to try and call a little friend of mine and think, oh, you know the thing does go. All right, nice. Yeah.
Wanna make feel nice in Jesus. So can I take you way back tonight? Way back. To good music. When we used to listen. When we was a boy. Isn't it strange?
And folks, also over the weekend, I was paying attention to one of the programs, and I got to understand a lot more clearly why the government made the two moves that they made at the last Parliament sitting. That is why they not attempted to, but they went ahead and put in place the cruise ship levy, and why they put in place the VAT amendment to include digital services, which in their own words, they said is only going to bring in about $3 million And so $3 million is a lot of money. But in the context of the national budget, it's a minuscule amount. But I understood now why it is that they did that. And all they had to do is come out and say, look, we're trying to put ourselves in a fiscal position where we could approach the World Bank and get a piece of money because we broke. Yeah, look, can I just say that, you know?
Well, let me sing the second verse. Now he just made their light flowing in. Tumbling block.
And you know, don't take my words for it. As usual, I'm telling you to hear from them. Yeah, don't take my word for it. This is the compliments the Bob report yesterday. And let me hear how much money they intend to collect with this thing. Yeah, let me hear.
I mean, if you look at it within the context of maybe 10 years ago and how it has evolved, it's continually expands. So you may see a lot of changes in terms of, you know, services that were, whether they were physical, now becoming digital and being implemented or facilitated through a digital platform and so on. So those services will automatically, or not automatically, because it says that the minister has to then in by way of order include, you know, any changes to the definition and the list of items and so on. So you will have that. So you have the act evolving. And as we see now, I think the footprint at the moment in terms of revenues is not large. In fact, I mean, our projection is that we will collect about $3 million EC, right? And that is relatively small within the context of our.
So you see, it's not me saying that it's relatively small. You might hear $3 million and say, "Wow, $3 million!" Yeah, but in the context of the budget, it's not really that much.
So you have the act evolving, and as we see now, I think the footprint at the moment in terms of revenues is not large. In fact, I mean, our projection is that we will collect about $3 million EC, right?
Mm-hmm. So they're collecting about $3 million off of that. But why, if everything going so nice and the economy is sailing along so well, why do you have to put additional measures in place to broaden the tax base, go to cabinet and bring measures there to broaden the tax base to attempt to get more money if everything going all well and nice in the country? Why do you have to go through that sort of thing? But then there was something else that was said yesterday, and I want you all to focus a bit. It's a little lengthy, but I want you all to listen carefully to what is being said here. Listen carefully to what is being said here. And again, it's a Bob report yesterday.
Of course, we'll take these things to the cabinet with respect to how we move forward in terms of what we do and what we do. And of course, cabinet will either reject the recommendations or approve the recommendation. In this particular case, we brought this recommendation to the cabinet last year, and cabinet approved the recommendation to move forward with the expansion of the tax base to include VAT on digital services, to, as I said, modernize the tax system, to treat with the issue of you know, equity, as I mentioned before, and so on, and the whole issue of fiscal sustainability and that, and to in a sense that the VAT should have been implemented since last year, that policy, for reasons and I think it has to do with the aggressive legislative agenda that.
So just remember as well, he's speaking in the context here of them having suspended the fiscal responsibility rules. Now, if you have suspended the rules that were self-imposed, you put in place to keep you along a particular economic trajectory, and the same rules that the World Bank, the IMF, the Caribbean Development Bank, everybody was praising Grenada for, and we're not speaking here the NDC administration, these were put in place by the NNP administration. All the praises and so on, not for the NDC. I just want to make sure that you all understand that. This were praises for the NNP administration and the prudent fiscal measures they put in place. So all of this was put in place by the NNP. Now you've suspended the rules, you suspended that for a while so that you could go ahead and spend while, because you're going into election You don't want to be restricted in your spending. You want to be able to spend while. We understand what's going on. Those of us that understand a bit about what you're doing know that is a fact, that you've suspended the rules, not so much because you're building back after Hurricane Beryl, because according to you all done fixed Carriacou already. That's according to them, you know. According to them, Carriacou done fix already. Is one or two people that maybe a house to do. I mean, it's a lie, but that is what they're saying. Yeah? So what major projects do they have to do that's still related to Hurricane Beryl if they've done so much? So listen carefully to the rest of what he's saying.
For the many years, it took longer than we anticipated. In addition to that, we also proposed that measure within the context of our IDA 21 allocation and our arrangement with the World Bank under the Sustainable Development Finance Policy.
Again, so you understand what he just said. They proposed that measure, meaning the tax measure, because of the arrangement with the World Bank. So at a point in time when other countries are reducing on VAT, are holding off on different measures, in Grenada, they are going forward with specific measures to try and increase revenue that is coming in through taxation.
Our arrangement with the World Bank under the Sustainable Development Finance Policy framework, in terms of ensuring that we maximize our resource allocation there, right? So as part of, Grenada being a part of IDA, or the International Development Association, they have different countries like IBRD, IDA, based on your income level and so on. We fall under IDA. And so we've gotten, for example, for the last cycle, we got about 66 million. We got 66 million US. This cycle, that 21 cycle, which started and basically covers the period 2026 to 2028. We also was allocated 66 million. But there is a potential for us to get an additional 10% if we were to implement some additional reforms to strengthen growth and to strengthen our fiscal responsibility.
Oh, so we could expect other tax measures and so on, because you have to increase income coming in, because we realize now that, for instance, many police and teachers and so on have been seeing all kind of thing coming in saying that they owing on taxes, and so they got notices that they owe 500 and something, 600 and something, 300 and something dollars, that they got notice that they had to come in and pay these things, and in nearly every instance is not correct, because there seems to be some issue with the computer from what they're being told when they go in to go and pay it. So is it that more measures will be put in place? Because we need to know, because we know there's the honeypot that they're setting up. So the honeypot is to try and do a lot of things, not do them well, but just do them in the shortest space of time possible. Create a sense of euphoria among the Grenadian people that, hey, this group of people working, because I passed a certain place today and there was an issue with the asphalt that was used there, and I know it didn't come from CCCCI. Yeah? And there was an issue with the asphalt that was used in that particular area. You know, if you do not mix asphalt properly, when you go and the sun hits it heavy, like the 33, and in some areas I show it at 34 degrees Celsius today, in some areas, it softens the asphalt. So even you walking on it, you feel it move under your foot. And that happened today. And it wasn't asphalt that came from CCCCI. Yeah, because I heard a news report where they were speaking about the quality of some of the asphalt that they're getting from some of the other producers right now. And I'm telling you, we have to look out for that, because it looks good. The road paved. I saw that as a child in Trinidad. Just before the election, man, the paved road looking nice and smooth. They pave it just about 2-3 weeks before election, but by the time it gets some serious hot sun, all the potholes come back, and sometimes even worse, because it melts, it gets soft. Because it was just a quick job. Go and drop that day. Go and pave day, quick. Yeah, and we see some of that taking place here now. So we have to be vigilant for what is going on. So let's say the permanent secretary, again, folks, just for those of you who may not know, the individual speaking is the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, is Mr. Mike Sylvester, yeah? He's also the brother of the Minister of Finance, as far as I know, yeah?
And so we propose basically one of those reforms. The other reform which we have been pursuing for the longest while is basically the issue of not borrowing on non-concessional terms. So if you go back to 2014 thereabout, we have not borrowed on non-concessional terms. So most of our debts have been from our multilaterals, the IMF, the World Bank, the CDB.
And again, you know who was in power in 2014? The same people that certain people saying do nothing. Eh? So we've been borrowing on certain terms. You've not been borrowing while. Yeah, you've been borrowing with the hurricane clause in it. You've been borrowing at the lowest possible interest rate. And with other clauses inside there to protect you as the borrower. That is what Grenada has been doing. And mainly from some of the bigger bodies like the CDB and the World Bank and so on.
Where those loans put you in the definition of what these institutions consider concessional, right? In terms of the rate being very low, you have a long grace period and you have a long maturity period. So within that context, this bill came forward. We have to basically meet our targets by the end of June, July.
Oh, so now we know why you all had to rush it. You all had targets you had to meet by the end of June or July. That is why people stand up in Parliament and want to cuss people because they're asking questions about it. Because you all moving with the bill like Speedy Gonzales or the Roadrunner. For older people, the Roadrunner. I used to like to see the Roadrunner. Yeah. Yeah, or the Woodpecker. I used to like to see them together when I was small. Right? So you all moving like Speedy Gonzales with it right now because you all have a deadline to meet. Why do you all have a deadline to meet though? Let me go back a little bit and let him talk there. Nice. Yeah, let me go back a bit. Right. Let me hear you.
Basically meet our targets by the end of June, July. We should be able to actually receive about 45 plus million of that 66 million in terms of being able to secure that. And
so you all be able to get a 45 million because you all passed the... Okay, so that is the reason for... Just say that to the Grenadian people from the beginning. Don't have to come and let people try and squeeze the information out of all you. Don't try to hide it on a Sunday program because people just watch the Bob program, like myself. Yeah, we just watch the Bob program. So don't try and hide it there. Come out and tell the Grenadian people before. So you're looking for a little 45 million. All right. We understand that. And all of us understand that? They're looking for 45 million. Right. You're looking for 45 million. So you run with the bill, incomplete as it is, without any consultation with the people being affected by it, and then cost everybody in the parliament who said that, hey, you didn't discuss this thing with anybody, you didn't explain it, you didn't even understand how the thing go. Guy, listen to the PS speaking there about how the thing go roll out. And it's clear that he doesn't understand how technology really operates in the modern world. When it comes to AI and it comes to the subscriptions you have to these things. Because if you're saying, in fact, at one point he said that they would get the information on who the people that are using the services are from your IP. Now, folks, your IP is also known as your internet protocol. Your mobile device has an IP address. Your tablet, your wireless system on home, there's an IP address. Your IP address can be used to identify who you are, but not just who you are, but where you are. So my apartment will have an IP address that if you trace that IP address, there are services that you could use that will show you the exact house that IP address is coming from. You could also use the service provider to tell you who that IP address belongs to. But there are ways around that. Because there's a thing called a VPN, where people, virtual protocol, VPN, anyway, but VPNs, where they can, is it virtual protected network? No, it's something similar to that. Yeah, it'll come to me in a while. You can use a VPN, and the VPN will show you as being in another country. So right now, for instance, if I decided that I wanted to change my IP address from showing the exact location I am in Grenada, I can use a VPN which routes all my internet traffic, and it can show that I am operating from any country on earth, from Trinidad to Colombia to the Ukraine to Russia to Poland to Swaziland in Africa, wherever. I can change my internet protocol, which means that if you're going to go by the internet protocol to find out who the people in Grenada are, one, people that are using VPNs in other countries that are using a VPN that is Grenada based, they may end up being charged the additional tax where they're not based in Grenada. And then those who are based in Grenada won't be charged the additional tax because they could simply use a VPN and it will show them in a different country. So how you're collecting it? It just shows the lack of understanding of how these things operate, yeah? So let's go further down.
Well, is to help us to put in place the what is called a catastrophe default drawdown option. I'm not sure if you recall when we had Beryl, the government drew down from the World Bank 20 million US by declaring that we had an emergency and were able to draw down within a few days $20 million to be able to use to deal with disaster. So we are looking to replenish that, and we want to replenish it before the start of the new hurricane season. And so part of that is to be basically treat with the issue of getting the VAT Amendment Act passed and so on. In addition to proving to the World Bank that we have not borrowed on any non-concessional terms from between last year and June of this year. We as Ministry of Finance, of course.
So you understand, and yes, VPN, virtual private network. I had to double check it. I always say protected, but it's private network. So you all realize the reason that they had to rush to Parliament with this thing, because they are focused on trying to get some additional money. It seems as though the financial situation is not as nice as they're trying to let on. So they had to get the additional money. And as such, that is the reason that they had to run with these measures. So they could go to the World Bank and they could say to them, hey, we'll be able to pay, because on a yearly basis, we will be able to collect an additional off of this thing. And I'm sorry that Dr. Bob did not get the opportunity to ask, and how much would be raised off of the cruise ship, the amendment that was made there for the visitor. Yeah. How much would be made off of that, so that they would say this is the amount that we're able to raise off of just these two measures on a yearly basis, and therefore we can put this towards the payment of the 45 million that we want Ola to give us come the end of June, July, so that they can qualify by the end of June, July. Yeah? So that is why they did what they did. Don't come and talk about you doing things because you're trying to modernize. That wasn't said here. Don't come and say you're doing things because that is the way the world going right now. You do it because you need $45 million out of the $66 million that you can get from the World Bank, and you need it immediate because you're brokes. Just say you're brokes. Just like how IAS come and say are brokes. When are brokes and are brokes. Just come and say you're brokes. Just come and say you're brokes. You need that 45 million. We know you're going to try to account for it in the supplementary appropriation later around the middle of the year. Well, if you're still in government, by the middle of the year, we know you're going to try to account for it there. But the bottom line is you're broke. Just say it. Anyway, folks. Yes, indeed, folks. And folks, I want to move quickly to another issue because I realize these nights are just run out of time. So that's why I start with the issue a little earlier than normal. I want to start with another issue here. Over the weekend, there was a press release by the Royal Grenada Police Force. And let me pull up the press release for you. Yeah, there was a press release by the Royal Grenada Police Force over this weekend. And this is the press release that was sent out by the Royal Grenada Police Force. And it reads, it was sent out on Saturday. Strange day for the police to be sending out press releases, but say what? Of this nature at least, because if something happens on Saturday, I could expect, but this I would have expected to come out during the week. But anyhow, so it's dated Saturday, the 9th of May, 2026, matter involving Neilon Franklin. to proceed to coroner's inquest. The Royal Grenada Police Force, RGPF, informs the general public that investigations into the death of former Senator Neilon Franklin have been concluded. Well, I want to know all you conclude because following consultations with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the matter will proceed to a coroner's inquest. Doesn't that sound familiar to all listeners of Talking Points? That sound familiar to all you, innit? The Royal Grenada Police Force thanks the public for their patience and cooperation throughout the investigation process. Yeah? So it means that you all found enough things to be able to bring it to the DPP, who together with the coroner have decided to do an inquest. So we go speak to somebody in a time and see. Let me just say though, the time all it take to design the artwork, all you could have tell the Grenadian people what was going on in relation to this issue. You all could have told the mother of Neilon Franklin what was going on in relation to that issue. The time all it take to sit down and design this and design that and all kind of fancy thing. The bottom line is people need to know what is going on. Yeah? Because we heard his mother. We heard his mother, and we're not going to stop playing his mother until this ends. If you all think that putting out that is somehow going to make us say, well, okay, they're doing a coroner's inquest now, and we're done with it, you all really don't know me, do you? You all have no idea the type of person I am, do you? If you all think that coming out over the weekend and say, now you're going into a coroner's inquest, after it took former Attorney General Kentington Hood to come onto this program and explain to the Grenadian people the mawes you all were doing there, it took that to push you all to do what you're doing now. And you all think that we're going to just go silent again on this? All you don't know me. Joke all you making. All you really don't know me. All you don't know us. Because how to be joke all you making in relation to that. But I listened to Neilon's mother tonight again. And I'm going to play Neilon's mother from tonight. Yeah, I'm going to play GBN, thank all you, Papa, you. Yeah, thank all you. I'm going to play Neilon's mother from the GBN News tonight. Yeah, I'm going to play what she said.
Neilon Franklin's death is now the subject of a coroner's inquest, which will determine the facts surrounding his death. His mother expressed a sense of relief that the matter is going in this direction. Christina John has this update.
9 months after the death of former Senator Neilon Franklin, police have revealed that the matter is now expected to be the subject of a coroner inquest following the conclusion of police investigations. In a statement released to the public on the weekend, the Royal Grenada Police Force confirmed that investigations into Franklin's death have been completed. Police also revealed that following consultations with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, a decision was taken for the matter to proceed to a coroner's inquest. Authorities have not, at this time, disclosed additional details surrounding the circumstances of Franklin's death. A coroner's inquest is a judicial inquiry held to determine the facts surrounding a person's death, including how and when the death occurred. GBN was in conversation with the mother of the deceased on Monday.
I like to say that I thank God, that they had come up with something, but my greatest concern that to arrest the person that did it, because the person is out there, and I feel such a relief, and I pray to God that everything will work out.
The grieving mother recalled the final moments with her son and implored on parents to pray for their children.
Because there are nights nobody knows I'm crying. There are nights I cannot feel the pain. When I think about it, flashback to me how that child died. I was right there at the hospital and see how that child beat himself on the bed, and then it just give up. I go to the hospital when I bring him. And we go back to bring clothes, and that child, when I was talking to him, and that child said, I don't even know who there. He did not even know me. And God, I could not take it. And this thing just flashing back to me. Sometimes I feel I'm not living anymore because that child, I know he never done nothing wrong to nobody. And this is so much of pain. And I thank God that we are going somewhere.
She shared this Bible verse with the hope that one day she will get justice for her son.
And this morning, I would like to say to Grenadians, parents who have children, pray for your children, because I used to pray for Neilon, but every time he's out there, I'm praying for him. But I said that Saturday he told me that he's going down in something they have down there. And you know, I let go my God, and I did not pray for him. But God alone knows. Parents, Grenadians, pray for your children. And by ending, I like to read that part of scripture. Psalms 94. Oh God, to whom vengeance belongs. Oh God, to whom vengeance belongs. And it says in verse 22, but the Lord is my defense and my God is the rock of my refuge. 22 said, and he shall bring upon them their own iniquity and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off. And I like to say this afternoon that whosoever did it, nothing go unpaid. Nothing go unpaid in this world. God is looking down, and God will work in his time. And I'm calling on Grenadians this morning to turn to God.
Former Senator Neilon Franklin died on Sunday, August 24th, 2025, after reportedly collapsing at his home and later brought to the General Hospital in St. George's. Christelina John, GBN News.
And just remember, immediately as this happened, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell asked them to do exactly what they're doing now. Since then, he called on them to investigate properly what took place with the late former Senator Neilon Franklin. Yeah? That is since August last year. He's gone to the great beyond. He's already lying in his tomb. And now you're going to do coroner's inquest. Yeah? Did you all do an autopsy? Or are you all referring to the evidence that was gathered by the parents, by his mother, and the people that they brought in? All of a sudden now you all know you have to do your work. As soon as Mr. Kentington would say, who had to go to jail and who had to face whatever punishment and so for not doing what they're supposed to do. Because in my view, and I'll ask that question when the time comes, does not doing what you're supposed to do at the point in time that you're supposed to do it affect the eventual outcome if and when an individual or individuals are arrested and charged for any possible crime that took place? In other words, did you set up a system where at the end of the day somebody gonna get away? Even if they're arrested, they're gonna get away because the police didn't do what the police was supposed to do, and their lawyers are now given the liberty to argue that the police didn't do what they're supposed to do, and as such their client is being unfairly treated, or that the evidence is tainted. Is that what took place here? We have to ask these questions because it leaves a lot to be desired, the way that this has been handled. It leaves a lot of questions in the minds of thinking Grenadians. It has some who brain dead. But in the minds of thinking Grenadians, who are in the vast majority, that is 99.9% of us, we want to know what is happening here. We want to make sure that everything is clear. We do not want a few months from now. That's why I say I'm not leaving this alone. I'm not leaving it alone. Let me repeat, I am not leaving it alone. Some people will get vexed with me, but I'm not leaving it alone. Because a few months from now, I don't want to hear another phone call.
The mother of Neilon Franklin. I'm calling this morning because I'm hot. I'm calling this morning, I'm hot because of my son's death, the investigation. Up to now, Neilon dead on the 24th of August. And up to now, the police just holding information. Up to now, we cannot say nothing. Up to now, the police lying. The police come in our house. They search. They look for all kind of things. They go with all kind of medication. They go with data, come out with some medication. They take it and they go with it. They tell me that they come and they told me that the investigation over. After they come back a few days and they tell me the investigation continuing because they get something in Jamaica. That was since the last week in December. Now is January. Now within April, going to the end of April. They tell me they're getting one in January up to now. And now I know it is a cover-up. And I'm hurting because I fight with my child. I send him to school. Nobody knows the pain I go through with that child. And yes, I give him my education, with my child. I give the parents in this community to kill him. And no justice. The Prime Minister, even Minister of National Security, up to now, we cannot hear nothing. I call the police that on the case. He tell me that he is on vacation. He give me a number up to now. I cannot get it off me. But I'm praying and I'm continuing to call on God. And I know that God will work. I know that God will work. God said, vengeance is his. Vengeance is God. And I'm calling on God this morning that God will walk in this place in this Grenada. And all of them who knows about it, I pray that God they will come save this morning. In the name of Jesus, I cry out this morning. I cry out for justice for Neilon Franklin. And I'm asking Grenadian this morning to help me pray. Because I'm crying out this morning. I'm not keeping silence. Enough is enough. Now is the time. I will cry for my son this morning. Neilon was a good child. Neilon had no conflict with nobody. So again, I'm crying out this morning. And thank you. Thank you, Shaggy, this morning. Okay.
So again, we're not keeping quiet. I ain't want Tata to call no radio program again and cry out like that. I want her to at least go to bed knowing the truth and knowing that if there anybody guilty, anybody or bodies, that those individuals face the consequences of their actions. It ain't going down so. Believe me, it ain't going down so. Because we know some of you all don't want to hear it. Because when she called, the mother of the former PRO of the NDC, called the program right after her and talking about close down that program. Well, close down this one. Close down this one. That's all you need to do. Come, close down this one. Shut it down. Yeah? That's all you need to do.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Okay, that is my opinion, and it is genuine to me because I felt Neilon's mom pain this morning because when that young guy died, it felt me because we had a good little relation. He used to call me mom, right? And up to this blessed day, I am still feeling the pain. And this morning, she raised the issue again that she's hurting, right? But it's a situation where the law is taking its course, and we have to wait on the court, not the court, the law, to bring justice to it. It might be taking a little while, but I trust that one day justice is going to reveal itself. And I think sometimes We have that program, Shaggy, and it's a good program. It was meant to be a good program that people have a platform where they could, air their little views, things happening in the community, things happening in the country, and but we have to be positive and we have to be constructive. And I realize now that program becoming like I can't even find a word. And I am calling on management, because I know the management of that radio station thing. If we as Grenadians cannot control ourselves on that program, my suggestion, now that is my suggestion, that we close the program down and find something more positive and a morning time, something more positive that could uplift the nation. Because it's not only big people that are listening to the program, that are listening to us.
So, in other words, do a program where people just call and praise the government and praise everything that's going positive in the country, and don't complain about what you see as going wrong in the country. So you could kill somebody, whole child, and the person mustn't call and talk about it. Somebody could murder whoever. Nobody must call and talk about it. The roads could turn into a cliff where you live in. Don't call and talk about that. Yeah? That's the attitude now. That is the mentality of these individuals right now. Yeah? So shut it down. Don't let nobody else come and talk no kind of thing. Just shut it down. Unless it's positive thing. You have to come and say, oh gosh, I love me Prime Minister. Oh gosh, he's so nice, and he doing good. You must come every morning and say them kind of thing for them. But when you come and you speak about facts about what is taking place with you as a person, they have a problem with it. When you call and you speak about things that are affecting your community or your family or your children in the school system, when you come and you speak about it and you say, hey, this is affecting, they're getting frightened. What are you getting frightened for? Stay there and take it. But they say stand up there and feel the weight of the revo. Stand up there and feel the weight of the revo. All you should know that terminology very well. Stand up there and take the weight of the revo. Shut down what?
Getting ready to go to school. And
by the way, I hope they never call back the program again. And I mean, I'm in charge of that program. But if I was in charge of that program, they couldn't call back. You say shut it down. In other words, it means it has no use. And therefore, if it have no use, your voice should not be heard on it again, because according to you, there is no need for it. There's no use for it. And you're calling on the people who in control to shut it down. So you should never pick up the phone again, dial the number, and call that program again. That should be the last time that you call. Other than that, you are a hypocrite.
Listening to how we are behaving on the radio, and it is not nice. It is not nice. The platform for where we have air your views is becoming like a football, a pass channel. All kind of a wrong thing saying. People are attacking people. Look, the other day, a week ago, I was personally attacked on the radio station. There is no way.
Strange they doesn't hear other programs that's supportive of them attacking everybody. Strange they don't hear when other programs that support them call people by the most nasty and vile names and make the most nasty, disgusting personal attacks on individuals. They don't hear that. They don't call on the people, which includes their own children who have influence over those programs and over those minions that they control on social media. They don't go to them and say, don't say them kind of nasty thing about people. Don't say them kind of thing about we country. Don't say them kind of thing about people that support another party. They don't have a voice when it comes to them thing. But when the shoe is on the other foot, it shut it down. There's not the revo there. This is not the revolution. That is not Leslie Pierre and Lloyd Noel and them. That ain't them. This is 2026 Grenada. We ain't going back to them days the way you could do them kind of thing and it's up the hill without a charge. We ain't going down them road there again, eh? And anybody that feel we going down them road go learn a very rude lesson when they try to go down that road with us. Because we ain't going to sit down and take it. Yeah? is fight you go get. Bad fight too. So now you're talking about close down and shut down. In fact, I'm done with you. Fight or talking about close down and shut down and this kind of thing. Try it. Come and shut down this. This is what you must come and shut down. Go and try and shut down Jenny. Don't fly drone around she place. Try and shut she down. Try and shut this down. All you already trying to shut down Real FM. All you trying, but I'll tell you, that is one hard little station. All you trying, all your best to shut down Real FM. All you pull all the ad and all you laugh. All you pull all the ads off the station. And then all you go and all you laugh. We take all the ads from him, but he's still playing things because he gain people impression and so on. Because he's doing a patriotic duty. And say, well, okay, even though I'm not paid for this, I'm going to still play something from Nawasa. I'm going to still play something from Grenlec and so on. Even though he's still doing that. You all vex that he's doing that and all. Because you all and your Cinco fans, your lick spittles and brown nosers are out there just repeating, kill the station. Kill the station. Kill it off. Don't let him get. No. Them so no. You can't be getting no money. That is the operation. Yeah? That is the way that you all believe things supposed to operate in this country. And all you feel that we go stay quiet. We ain't staying quiet. No self, we had to talk. And that's a message to all of you out there as well. That this is the point in time that you have to talk because they want you to stay quiet. I know that there are literally thousands of listeners to this program who are not able to. Some people, they're not fluent with words. So they're not the ones that are going to pick up a phone and call a radio program or a program like this and talk. Because they're not fluent. Yeah? Sometimes they get nervous when they're calling a radio program. They can't do it. Yeah? There are others who for various reasons. You know much people working in the government service wish they could have called this program on a nightly basis. But they can't. I meet them. They speak to me. They tell me things. But boss, I can't call boy because you know. Because they know even being seen with me is considered a crime worthy of capital punishment by these individuals in office right now. Even being seen speaking to somebody like me. They can't meet Jenny in the supermarket and play the stand-up talking to her, you know. By the time they reach back where they're working and all kind of things, all kind of reprimand and all kind of side eye and all kind of thing. So they know the kind of state that they're living in, that these people trying to make into the North Korea of the Caribbean. That's where they want to make Grenada into. With one Kim Il-jung. Or Sun. Is Sun? That one is Sun? Kim Il-sung? Right, whichever one. Me and christen him. But he's a Kim. So that is what they're trying to create and make our country into. But we have to speak. Because if Kentington who didn't speak, if he didn't call and he didn't speak out about what was taking place in relation to the issue with Neilon Franklin, if the Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis Peters did not speak out on that issue in Parliament and they wanted to drown what she said by making the issue about what she refused. What she refused has nothing to do with the farmers or anything like that. Nothing to do with any of that. So don't even bother with that conversation with them. The issue is the why. That is the issue. The why. They get upset. They're afraid. They don't want that discussed. They get afraid. But no, here's what? It's now in the records of Parliament, didn't it? Because you all stand up and repeat it. So 300 years from now, it's in the record of Parliament. And it's not a negative on her because it forced the police to do their work now. Well, I hope they're doing their work, and that's why I have to find somebody to find out if they're really doing their work. Because we want to make sure that what we get is not another bamboozle. We want to make sure that what we get in is the proper thing. Yeah, we want to make sure that we want to make sure that we get the proper thing. So that is what I'm trying to see. I'm sure if they're free. Let me see if they're free right now. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night.
Mr. Kentington Hood, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing fine.
All right, sir. developments over the weekend. We see that now the Royal Grenada Police Force have put out a release stating that speaking with the DPP, they've concluded investigations, and speaking with the DPP, they are now moving to a coroner's inquest. Your point of view on what has happened over what they have announced over the weekend, sir?
Well, Sheldon, I think it's just a matter of persons holding public office trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak. The laws of Grenada are very clear. I pointed out last time when I was on your program, I think, that there is a specific provision in our laws. In fact, chapter 69 of our laws, that's the 2010, the latest revised edition of the laws of Grenada, sets out clearly what happens in certain cases of deaths. It says, and it doesn't say that an inquest must happen. What it does say, though, is that the duty of every coroner is to inquire into the cause of death and, if necessary, to hold an inquest. So it is rather strange that the police and the DPP are talking about holding an inquest. That's not their business at all. I repeat, the laws of Grenada says clearly, identifies whose duty it is to order and hold an inquest if in that person's deliberate judgment an inquest is necessary. So when some other body, I was about to say busybody, and it might be the correct terminology, when some other body makes an announcement contrary to what is established in our laws, I do not hesitate to say it is inappropriate, ill-advised, and out of place. The police have no right, no jurisdiction, no power to order an inquest. The police has no right to request an inquest. The DPP has no right in any inquest. The Minister of National Security has no business in an inquest. Even if a member of Parliament dies, it is not the business of Parliament. We need persons in government who will faithfully obey the laws of Grenada. And children, is it not true that all these people in Parliament swore an oath to abide by the Constitution and the laws of Grenada?
Yes, everyone. On taking office, you swear that.
Well, then I recall when I was serving as AG and the police had questions, they would come to the Attorney General, they would send a delegation and ask me those questions that they needed guidance on. Because there are questions that are not intrinsically criminal in nature, but are more of a general character. Like this question here, as to the procedure that should take place. And to ask the DPP such a question, when the DPP is involved in, according to the constitutional rule, to lay charges and so on, it may not be the wisest person to ask regarding what should happen. That's where the AG fits in. And the AG's office would advise the Commissioner of Police accordingly. And there are several instances when the Commissioner of Police would send a delegation to my office to ask a question or two that they may want some guidance on. So I am wondering who is guiding the police force, who is giving advice to the police. That's the question that I have in my mind. But whoever is advising the commissioner, whoever has advised or is advising the commissioner of police is not giving sound advice at all.
Let me ask an additional question here. I've said it before, and I'm not sure if I'm correct, which is why I said I would ask the question of somebody who would know. Can the procedure that is taking place now, which is incorrect, can it affect the outcome of any possible case? I don't want you to predict the future, but from a legal perspective, can it affect the outcome? Let's say someone is arrested in relation to this. They are suspected, well, you have evidence that says this is the person that did something, and you bring them in for that. Can the lack of following procedure be used by the defense team to save their client?
I would put it as high as to save the client. I would say if there is a defect in the procedure, it can be raised in defense. It is up to the court to determine whether or not the defect that you are relying upon is substantial enough to have occasioned a mistrial or something of that sort. Certainly, the Constitution provides the citizens' right to due process. Mm-hmm. Yes? But the reality is that the court, in the event that such a question is raised, the court now must evaluate what the complaint is, evaluate the possible effect on the safety of the trial, the reliability of the process, and then, as the Constitution says, fashion a remedy. The High Court has that power to give an order saying what should happen. So yes, it could affect, but that depends on the facts that are brought to the court.
Mm-hmm. So there is that leeway that could be created through a situation like this, but the courts would have to make a determination at the end of the day, based on what is before them.
It's the High Court, yes. Mm-hmm. It's not the magistrate court, because if a person is brought to the magistrate, remember, it's not a civil matter. Mm-hmm. It's a criminal matter, and the state, so to speak, holds all the cards. You can't tell the police you're not coming and the police comes to arrest you. The policeman, probably, in truth, maybe doing executing a false arrest. But if the police comes and arrests you, you have to go. You can complain afterwards, if you understand my point.
Comply and complain.
Yes, in a similar fashion, even though there is what I call a defect in the process, that doesn't validate disobedience and non-compliance. If you understand what I'm saying, mm-hmm. Whatever happens may be rectified later on by the High Court, a higher court than the Magistrates Court. But every criminal matter starts in the Magistrates Court.
Mm-hmm. Now we're seeing.
And by the way, Sheldon, the coroner is the magistrate. Huh?
Okay, so the coroner is the magistrate.
Yes, the coroner for the district is a magistrate for that district, because magistrates are appointed. Magistrates are appointed according to districts.
So,
as a matter of fact, for the district of St. George's, mm-hmm. I would have mentioned before that after I met with the family of Neilon, I wrote the chief magistrate and raised the question regarding the inquiry and the possible inquest. And her response in writing to me was that the police didn't inform her. So it means that it appears, if I am to believe what the coroner said, the police are under a joint, so to speak, of their own. Commissioner and his boys are not respecting the office of the coroner. And if what you report to me is true, that the DPP has been involved in that, actually right now is the acting DPP. If the office of the DPP is involved in that, then that makes it very bad. Because you're misuse, in my view, you are misusing and misapplying constitutional powers. There is nothing there that give the DPP power to order an inquest or to get involved at any point in time before the inquiry. The Coroner's Act is very clear. The first step, one, do a report. The policeman who's advised of the death is under an obligation, as soon as that person is informed of the death, shall at once report to the coroner of the district. At once. And upon receiving the report from the police, the coroner has an obligation, a mandatory duty to, and hear the language, to cause the facts and circumstances attending the death reported to be carefully inquired into, not under the Commissioner of Police, not under the DPP, not under the Minister of National Security, but under the direction of the coroner by the police. So the police should be now reporting to whom? The coroner, not the Commissioner of Police, and not the DPP. So the DPP ought not to have any information. The Commissioner of Police ought to be shut out of that special inquiry, because it's a statutory, mandatory inquiry because of the death of somebody in a very sudden or unnatural manner. Our laws make a provision for that. And Neilon's death was surely sudden, I think. It seemed to be unnatural, I think. It could have been by accident, I think. So there are lots of questions, and the police actually publicly admitted they're not sure.
Well, we do have them on tape in December of last year saying that they haven't come to a final conclusion, so they're not sure.
Yes.
So we do have them on tape saying that. And I actually have up the Coroner's Act as you're speaking, because I know you just quoted from Section 10 and Section 11 of the Coroner's Act. And it's very, very clear. Very, very clear. I don't know if you're talking out of your head, because I know you're a man that's talk out your head. But it's very...
No, when you say they're not talking from the head, they're just talking anything. Stop that shit. All right.
Okay,
but the point is that, and let me make it very even clearer. The chief coroner is the chief justice of the OECS. So it's not just something that is restricted to Grenada. There's oversight by the chief justice. There's intended to be oversight. I don't know if the magistrate still follow that protocol, but that's what is there.
And that's
Yes?
Section 12 now. It speaks of report of result of inquiry to the Chief Justice.
Yes. To the chief coroner. So that is a statutory method or manner that these things have to be treated. Now, let me make a comment here. I believe there is very good reason for putting the coroner in charge, because you never know what interests a policeman might serve. You with me? Or what interests a commissioner of police might serve. Are you still following me?
I'm following you.
Because the act, look, the police under the Police Act have a general power to investigate. And that is very clear. However, here is a special situation where the Parliament of Grenada has created a special act for these special occasions. And the principle in law is that a special act trumps a general act. I'm talking card talk about Trump, right? So it means if an act is created for a special circumstance, it takes precedence over, it takes priority over the provisions of a general act. So the police generally have a duty and the power to investigate. But here is a special situation under special circumstances, and the Parliament of Grenada, and remember, Parliament is the highest body in the country. In spite of how you see all kind of people getting appointed there and all kind of rigmarole. I'm laughing, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man.
In spite of all the antics you see, that is the highest body in the country. And I sometimes wonder why our politicians don't take Parliament seriously. What happens in Parliament affects our lives, the core of our existence. Bills are passed and rules are made, and that's the highest body. The only thing as an institution or as a provision that is above parliamentary conduct is the Constitution. So when I hear certain people saying that the king am better than them, I'm only laughing. I'm laughing. That's never see come see. Because the issue is not whether I am better than you. The issue is that I hold an office that's above your office. That is the issue. So all this rigmarole and talk about amending with the oath, that's nonsense. Because the head of parliament is the king. So if you don't want, that's my view, you know. If you don't want to swear allegiance to the head of parliament, then get rid of the head of parliament, have a constitutional review that allows you to do that. Go to the people and make them change the contents of the constitution. Once that is not changed, the head of Grenada is not the prime minister, but King Charles.
Mm-hmm.
He's the monarch.
We had
and we could change it.
We had Barbados going through that process a couple of years ago.
Dominica did that.
Yeah, Dominica as
Trinidad did that.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a republic, go ahead. And then swear allegiance to a dog if you want. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, under this constitution, I'm not saying I agree or I like it, you know, Sheldon. Don't get me wrong.
No.
I don't want people out there misquoting me and saying this and that and the other. I am saying, let me repeat it. I want it to be understood clearly. I am saying under this constitution, I do not agree with swearing allegiance to anybody but the head of parliament.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not the prime minister. It is the governor general who holds office. The governor general holds office at the pleasure of the king.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the constitution very clear. So you could jump high, jump low, do what you want. There is a formula that you have to follow if you want to change it. And I have digressed a bit from the Coroner's Act bit just to make a point. Something I've been sticking in my craw for a long time, Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
That's nonsense. There are other things we can do with parliamentary time. Make some good laws for good governance.
To protect our children. Because up to now, we can't see the sex offenders come forward. We can't see these sort of laws coming forward. But instead, is the other thing we're focusing on.
Sheldon, as AG, together with a Grenadian young man who lives in Canada, we did everything to have a sex offenders registry.
I remember that.
We had extensive consultations with the gentleman who is now in charge of the Port Authority. He was the Deputy Commissioner of Police at the time, Franklin Redhead.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, I'm not pointing finger at anybody, it didn't come to reality. Didn't come to fruition.
And it's presently on the desk of the present AG. They can't say that they don't have all of that information, both from yourself and then from AG Dia Forrester, who followed afterwards. All that information is there. There was national consultations in 2021 regarding a national sex offenders registry. There was a national consultation. So
well, I was not aware of that, but I know of what happened when I was in that office. And I know of the efforts that were made by that gentleman. I know of the efforts. I know of the platform he created and other things. I actually interfaced with the Supreme Court in order to get permission to have information regarding convictions. Because a natural link that you need to make, because there's a record of these convictions in the Supreme Court. So you can get the correct information for insertion into the registry. So all of these links were made back then, 2016, around there about. And this has been there for a long time. It's 10 years now, Sheila. So there we are. There we are.
But back on the police release again on this. From your perspective, what should be the move at this point in time? What should be taking place in relation to the Neilon Franklin issue at this time, right now, according to law?
Let me be frank with you. There has been a misstep already. What is the misstep? The misstep is that there has been inquiries into the death that ought not to have taken place in the manner in which they have taken place. I want to be clear with you. What is the impact of that? I do not know. I do not know who supervised the inquiry to cause the police to come to the conclusion that they apparently have come to cause the DPP, if that's the truth, to form the conclusion that he has formed. I do not know. Yes? I do not know if the DPP believes that there is sufficient evidence or otherwise to bring charges. I do not know. What is concerning me is the fact that our people who are holding high office seem to want to do their own thing, seem to want to reinvent the wheel. And whenever I see persons, in spite of the clear language that is set out there, that has been set out there by the highest body in the country, when I see people going around the procedure, going around the provisions, it causes me to take stock and wonder what are the real motives. That's what I will say about that. But I think, but you see, the problem is that the inquiry that took place, because there must have been an inquiry, the inquiry that took place outside of the direction and control and oversight of the coroner, I fear has the potential to have corrupted information that may have been out there in the public. You understand where I'm going now? So my position, who knows? My position is that now, apparently we are trying to close the barn door after the cow has run away. That's my view. Because the reason why the coroner or the magistrate was put there is because a valuable thing was lost. What's that valuable thing? A human life. And our parliament put a premium, attached a premium to the loss of a human life in a certain unnatural or suspicious manner. That's what Parliament has done. Parliament has paid homage to the value of a human life and has passed this act to say, look, loss of a human life in those circumstances, that is special. We want to treat it in a special manner. Why can't we respect that as a government or as officials in our country? Why do we have to dip our hands in things? And it's plain. Sheldon, you can read it. It's obvious and plain. It doesn't take any kind of wise person or brilliant person to see what he's saying. So maybe you can tell me why. Sheldon, and I want
my own ideas why.
Sheldon, let me put something else again. It is a pattern that I have noticed, and that's the reason why I'm willing to talk to you on this platform. It's a pattern that I have noticed in our government for this government, this administration. Let me be direct. Our Crown Lands Act says that lands belonging to the state are to be held in the name of the Governor General. Do you know that, Sheldon?
No, I was unaware of that.
I
got to read that act tonight. You gave me homework.
Sheldon, so is that good thing you're calling me on? You tell me you're calling me, but I didn't know,
No, man. And I know the listeners are cued in, believe me. Some of them are saying thank you for the information.
Chapter 73 of our laws says, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Section 2, all public lands to be vested in the Governor General. Can I repeat it again?
Go right ahead. I pulled it up as well.
All public lands to be vested in the Governor General. So when I hear the Attorney General saying publicly that lands are vested in some company, where did that come from, Sheldon?
Oh, so I get where you're coming from. If it is public, it ought not to be vested in some private company.
I am just reading what I see there, so I want to know what's going on. I read it the third time. Yes?
Go right ahead.
The lands vested in the Governor General by Section 2 and all other lands which may from time to time be vested in the Governor General for the public use of Grenada are hereinafter called Crown lands. All public lands will be vested in the Governor General. Now let me ask you a question. If you take money from the consolidated fund, that is we money, right?
Yes, sir.
And that money is used to buy land. Who the land belong to?
It belongs to the public. It's public land. You use public funds
to buy
it. It's public land.
And it's supposed to be vested in the Governor General. While I was every transaction of land with respect to the government of Grenada, where the government of Grenada has an interest, the Governor General had to sign off on it. You hearing me?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
But we ain't seen that now.
Well, I don't know what we've seen. I'm telling you something. I read a document where some company or the other appear to have control of lands that was bought with a few $1 million that came from the consolidated fund, and the rest of it to be paid by government bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Which is free money again, right?
Yeah.
Right. Where did that company come from? No, I heard a clip where the Attorney General is saying, talking about the government being shareholder. What nonsense is that? There's no shareholding in public lands. The public lands are to be vested in the Governor General. Is there a document in which the Governor General signed off on that transaction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So again, it's gone totally off of what the law says, and they've gone on their own merry journey doing their own thing.
Well, this government is doing their own thing, Sheldon. Sheldon, that is, I just talked to you about Neilon's matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to you about land transactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, sit down, make sure you sit down and hold on to your chair, Sheldon.
Let me grab the table.
Sheldon, this Attorney General wrote me a nasty letter. Called me rude. Called me what? Rude, and there's another word she called me. Simply because I wrote a letter to the Governor General in the name of, well, actually, I wasn't really writing to the General directly. I was writing to Nazim Bok and them committee, right? You know the oil and gas committee you're talking about?
Oil and gas, yeah.
Yes. I held power of attorney for the company, the Russian company.
Mm-hmm.
The Russian company have an agreement, right? They have a development license for certain blocks. They paid for the license according to law. They executed the license according to law. Between 2008 and 2012, the NDC refused to work with them. And you know what was happening then? They were trying to track down Minister Bowen and track down Dr. Mitchell to find out if they did any corruption and whatever it is. You remember that
Yes,
period?
during that period.
Yes. In 2013, after a lot of research and meetings and so, the company decided to apply for a development license because they had an exploration license. So that development license was issued in December 2013.
Mm-hmm.
The period of the license according to law is 20 years. So from 2013 to 2018, these people found money. Now, Minister Bowen and I give all respect to Minister Bowen. We used to work sometimes in the AG's office late night, drafting documents, coming up, negotiating with these people. Minister Bowen wouldn't want to tell you that. Late nights, trying to advance the program. Now, note this. The government did not spend a single cent. All of the ships you see coming in and out, these were at the expense of the developers.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making myself clear?
Very clear.
According to the act which governs petroleum deposit, we are entitled to certain portion later on. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the billions of dollars to invest in that. So when we were negotiating with these people and we wanted a bigger share in the pie at the end of the day, they simply said, well, if you want to share, right, separate and apart from the established principles, well, maybe you want to invest, put money in.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the money to put in. At the end of the day, we expect royalties and other things. So what we negotiated were special consideration for local consumption, training for local people, all of that are in contracts. And I want to be very clear.
So don't move up that too quick. So it meant that, in other words, when they say special consideration for local consumption, cheaper gas for Grenadians.
all kind of other things.
Training
Mr. Boone may have a better recollection.
Yeah.
We discussed and we came up with little things, that we could negotiate, right?
Right.
In over and apart royalties and so on later on. Yes?
Right.
No. That that development license and the production sharing agreement which went along with it, right? As you hear, production sharing agreement had certain provisions in it and certain arrangements for having committees and other things that are appointed by the minister, because the act is premised on the existence of a minister for petroleum affairs.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Prime Minister and his cabinet decided to appoint what they call some special committee on the instructions of my clients, I wrote the government and said, look, your proposals are okay, but my clients have a contract. And in the contract, that's the production sharing agreement, and in the license, reference is made to a minister, right? So it's okay. But please tell us who is the Minister of Petroleum Affairs. That's of course the Attorney General of the Costain.
A simple question like that. That is
she said arrogant.
But that is asked according to what is in the agreement.
Look, I can produce, as you all let's say, no, the receipts. She called me arrogant and said I cannot tell a sovereign government how to run their affairs. But I wasn't telling a sovereign government how to run their affairs. We are under what you call parliamentary democracy. Parliament is sovereign.
Mm-hmm.
Parliament is sovereign in Grenada, and the head of that parliament is the sovereign. That's the reason why Parliament ain't supposed to pass any act taken away from the king. You getting my point now?
Yes.
All right. So I'm just trying to tell you, there seems to be a pattern where this administration believes they could do what they want because they have power. We don't have to report to a coroner. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to have no minister for petroleum affairs. We could appoint a committee and appoint our own friends and hacks to be in charge. And give it a fancy name. And pay them to it.
So, hold on. So the committee, the petroleum committee that we've heard about, that Mr. V. Nazim Burke and others are part of, they are being paid.
Well, ask them that. Ask them if they're doing it for free. Sheldon, just ask them if they're doing it for free.
We do hope that the opportunity avails itself very soon.
Right? Because nobody asked them that when they had the big shebang in the Trade Center. Yeah?
Yeah, because we need to know. And we need to know.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that? When they said they were coming and tell the people of Grenada about oil and gas, and the other government didn't tell them nothing, so they fixing it and they tell it. They talk a set of nonsense that make no sense and that's going nowhere. And they went and bring Dangote and bring Alicia and bring who and who and who. That's going nowhere. Because how are they going to get out of the development license and the production sharing agreement?
So
and it begs the question,
mm-hmm.
The documents place an obligation on the government of Grenada to act in good faith. Are they acting in good faith?
They definitely are not.
Well, then you remember, and I want to shake your memory a bit. You remember Grenlec?
Yes, I remember Grenlec a little too much.
Okay. And remember, we had to pay, right?
Yeah.
Well, Grand Lake money is small money. So the money is involved in oil and gas. That's all I will say. So let these people continue to joke around.
Because we could very well. Anyway, let me don't foresee the future here right now on that one.
I'm just telling you. I've noticed a pattern where this administration believe they could do whatever they feel like doing because they're in power. We don't have to have coroner's inquests. We could just charge people. We don't have to have no minister for petroleum affairs. We could put a technical working group with the boss. Ain't it?
So,
and if you tell them, and if you say to them, look, Sheldon, I will show you the letters. I'll show you the letter I wrote and the response, and you'll tell me, please, where I was rude and arrogant. If you try to tell them, look, the law says so and so, you're arrogant and you're rude.
but Kaji, I want to ask you another question. But before I lose this, let me just remind folks: tomorrow night, the activity in Carriacou will be broadcast, folks. The activity in Carriacou will be broadcast from 6:30. So tomorrow night we're not on. We're broadcasting from Carriacou the activity tomorrow night. Now, I want to ask you another question. Since you're speaking about not following what is supposed to be taking place, pension, the new pension scheme.
But there's another one, because that's another pension disqualification act. That's a susu. Okay. That's not a pension. Sheldon, that is not a pension. And I have a client who advised that it's not a pension, and they have, I won't call names, they have taken no action. But that's all right. That's a pension disqualification act. It is not a pension act. And I'm telling you that straight up.
So this is a new pension disqualification act, basically, that we've been hit with.
Yes, that's what it is.
So it's going to go down the road at the last one.
That's what I predict. When some group or somebody has the intestinal fortitude, I won't use the other word we normally use, to challenge it, then I am predicting now what's going to happen. I recall, Sheldon, I'm not pulling anything at Dr. Mitchell, but I remember predicting to him what was going to happen. And it happened. And it happened after I left office. The Pension Act that was passed by this government is contrary to the Constitution of Grenada. Jimmy Bristol's position is slightly different from mine, but comes to a similar conclusion.
So, okay, so the pension that has been put in place now, where people are being told it's a contributory pension.
It's not a pension. Sheldon, let me go back to basics. Okay, no, hold on. Before you go there, Sheldon, before you go there, let me give you a simple reason. When the Constitution came into force in 1974, there was a pre-existing pension from the colonial government, correct?
Right, yes.
Right. The basis of the pension was you do service to the king and he give you a handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah. After a certain
go and research that. Go Google the word pension. It is a gift to the loyal subjects of the monarch for faithful service. So this so-called contributory pension is a myth. It's a fabrication. It is not the pension. It is not the pension. I repeat it again. That was brought into the Constitution by the pre-existing laws. So don't let anybody fool you. The pension that was there is an old-fashioned pension. So the money that this administration wastes to come up with all of this foolishness makes no sense, and it will not stand. That's my prediction. Jimmy's point is a slightly different point. Jimmy's point is that you're taking my money and giving it to a group of people to hold. It doesn't have security. And they do not have the power that you're giving them. You understand Jimmy's point now?
Yeah.
I don't know if they have established that group of people as yet to supervise the contributory susu. I call it pension. But if you take my money, that's my property, right? And you put it in the hands of somebody else, and it is not the Public Service Commission. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
It's nobody like that. It's not a government appointee or somebody who comes through the public service. I don't agree. You can't do that. Is that fund into which my money is put guaranteed by the consolidated fund? Answer that question. Mm-hmm. What if some people run away with the money, make off with the money? What happens? Who guarantees it?
Or they invest it in some sort of thing that fails and all your money is gone.
And it fails. Thank you. I was about to say that. Who guarantees it? Okay. That's my comment on that, Susu.
Because for what you just explained there, it shows the danger in the Susu. Because with a pension, it's a guaranteed payment. You know, government, you reach the requirements, and so you are paid that pension by the government regardless of what. Government had to pay.
Except if the government boss.
Right. That's in Greece. But you end up with a situation where pensioners in Grenada does get paid before others. They get paid first, everybody else after.
Yes.
So, but in the system that's being put in place now, that you refer to as the SUSU, that's being put in place now, where people are putting their money into it, and then these monies wouldn't just sit down inside there. The committee that they're putting in place to manage these monies are going to invest it and buy things with it and do different things to try and increase the money. But if that fails, it's still back to central government to find the money to pay these people, isn't it?
No, I don't know about that.
Or you just lose everything gone.
That's the other part you have to look at. And nobody watching that. Because they're afraid to talk. They're afraid to be labeled as anti-government. But I don't care. I lived through the revolution and I used to talk. So what? I just didn't say anything. I said, let me give these boys a chance to see what they're doing. But they're just doing their own thing.
So again, we in a situation that once again, proper procedure by law, and this is not proper procedure by Kentington Hood feel this is the way things should go. This is not Kentington Hood feel so. This is what the law says. Whether it's the coroner's inquest, whether it's pension, whether it's oil and gas, whatever it is, Crown lands, this is what the law says. Not just Kentington Hood feel that is the way that it should be, and he's saying that is the way I feel it should be. But you're able to point to the law and say, this is why I'm saying that this is how things supposed to take place.
Sheldon, these people feel they could do what they want. And when you tell them anything, the first thing they're telling me, I'm playing a bright. I ain't playing a bright. A bright. You want to tell me? I'm playing a bright what? I'm telling you what the law says. Anybody can read it. So they make me, Sheldon, they're making me have to beat my chest now. Sheldon, it is obvious. These people feel that they could do whatever they want and get away with it.
So we realize now on due haste to start handing out a set of certificates for land and so taking place as well. We realize all of a sudden there's a rush for that. But
Sheldon, the Crown Lands Act has a procedure in it, you know. And the Governor General is supposed to get involved. All right.
So there's another major question. I know it's nearly 10 o'clock, but we go in until you're done. So there's another question.
Well, I don't know.
No. There's one more question I have to ask you before you're done tonight, Kaji. One more. The question I have to ask you is, we've heard of quote-unquote regularization taking place with different categories.
Chelan, stop. Chelan, stop. Before you go further. You're fooling up that program with all kind of things. Chelan, my suggestion, break up this thing in pieces. One day I will be going depth in oil and gas. One day we'll go in depth in pension. One day we'll go in depth regarding the land fiasco. Break it up, National. But let me hear your question.
We're hearing of cabinet secretary letters being given to workers, and they are being told that they've been made permanent.
No, they can't. Well, they are made permanent with respect to a contract. So because you see, what they have done. Hold on. What they have done is that they have successfully broken down the barrier between the constitutional pension and the so-called SUSU. Mm-hmm. Look, and that's not by accident. They have done that in steps. Mm-hmm. Watch it, They have broken down, and nobody can say nothing. Nobody challenge it, so they're feeling safe. After having dismantled the pension from the Constitution with no opposition, now they are going further, and they're going to dismantle the public service because they're going to make a set of appointments from the cabinet, right, on contracts which they claim the NNP were given illegally. If you recall that.
Yeah.
All right.
And
when they say permanent,
No, I said
when they say permanent,
go ahead.
When they say permanent, it might be a contract for 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. You see? And listen to me carefully, when they plan these people there, it will be hell to get them out, because if they do a contract with the cabinet and somebody, one of their people for 10 years, and you want to terminate it, you know what's going to happen?
You have to pay off.
All right?
You have to pay off.
So that's how they're setting up the people. The permanency there is not within the permanent position. They are sidetracking the establishment.
So I heard the Public Workers Union speak out against it. I don't know if they've decided to take any legal action, anything against it. That's up to them.
I don't believe they do. I don't believe they're doing anything because they're playing politics. Mm-hmm. And I've made a bold statement. Somebody might call me and cuss me, but I could take it. My back like dashing leaf. It can't matter. It can't matter. Because my view that in interest, Jimmy spoke publicly, and the Public Workers Union has done nothing about it. So I don't know if they're going to do anything about anything.
Because I've been contacted by several young people who have been told that get your documents together and so on, believing that they're going to be made permanent, when in fact what they're receiving is a cabinet secretary letter, which I must admit is a strange one for me. I can't remember hearing much about that before, but a cabinet secretary letter that they're going to receive and giving the impression to these people that they're permanent. Are these people, do these people fall under the public service rules?
Yeah, but I've just told you. You see, because, listen to me, the pension that was there before governs persons who are appointed by the Public Service Commission. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Right. They have established a SUSU, right? That covers, this is a deadly thing, that covers not just people working in the public service, but people working in parastatal bodies. Mm-hmm. You understand me? They are widening the net. So they have broken down the barriers between the public service and the people in the state-owned enterprises and so on. Everybody under that SUSU.
Gravel concrete.
Right.
authority.
So gradually, they are breaking down the walls, the protective walls around the public service. Because persons who are not appointed by the Public Service Commission does not have that security of tenure, which is there and offered to public servants. And they don't have the pension that was the incentive before. So you're understanding now?
Yeah.
So that was not a guesswork. It was a calculated move. So all the talk before election about there has to be one public service, you can have this and that. It was a code they were using.
And now they have perfectly ensured that there is not one public service. Now they make about 3.
Well, but whatever comes from the cabinet secretary is an appointment not in the established public service, but in the one that they are creating.
My goodness.
So Sheldon, like I said, break up this thing in pieces now.
Yeah. We done for tonight.
And then we'll just so I could get the receipts. I have a lot of receipts for different things. I have to go down and look for the receipt for that, and then I could focus on it.
Yes.
And when I know we're going to do something else, I'll get the receipts for that one too.
Of course.
But I have plenty of them. Eh?
Yeah, man. Bring the receipts.
But Sheldon, you know what people all over the place asking me, oh gosh, what's going on? I ain't seen you and hearing you. You're talking again. We used to look forward to hearing you and this kind of stuff. I say, look, sometimes somebody has to just let the touch pass on you. No, but you can't do that, this and that and the other. How come you used to talk so much when the other government was there and you didn't say nothing? Well, I was giving them people a chance. They just come in and you start talking, they will say you just like to talk. Oh gosh, but this thing getting over measure, over and above.
As you say, it's overbearing.
Sheldon, it is just too much. Too much. And if people talk, they try to shut you down and shut you up. So our democracy is being undermined.
Yes. And we cannot allow that. We cannot allow that.
Well, the next generation, people in the 30s and 40s, they have apparently more time around. So some of them have to jump up.
Step to the plate.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Brother Kentington Hood, I want to thank you so very much for answering your phone and for speaking with us. I must say, it's a person every time I call, the only time you're in answering is if you're in court. Other than that, you're answering. So I must say thank you so very much for answering, for speaking to us, and for educating. I'm seeing the numerous comments that are coming in, not only on the Facebook and the YouTube, but directly to my mobile. There are many positive comments. A lot of folks have learned a lot tonight, and we want to thank you so very much for that.
My public duty, Sheldon, as a citizen.
Yes, indeed. All right, sir. So we want to thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you once again. We will be speaking soon again.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you. Yes, indeed, folks. We were speaking with former Attorney General of Grenada, Mr. Kentington Hood there, and he was giving us quite a bit of information regarding several issues. Yes, several issues. You heard him on pension, what is taking place when it comes to the issue of pension. You heard him on several issues there. Pension, oil and gas. You heard him on the Neilon Franklin and the coroner's inquest. So you know that still what taking place is not what's supposed to be taking place in the way it is supposed to be taking place when it comes to the Neilon Franklin issue. So we still make that call from Talking Points to do what they have to do in the correct way. We don't want nobody getting off at the end of the day because some misstep took place in the chain of A, B, C, D, that you leave out C and you leave out E and all. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that what has to be done is done properly. Yeah? Because we're not leaving these issues alone. You've heard of the situation when it comes to the public service, the appointments that are taking place there. And we will do an extended program on these different issues because as the former AG has said, much of what we've spoken about, we've spoken a piece here, a piece there, a piece there. And when there's a lot more that we can discuss in relation to each of these issues. So we will, over a period of time, deal with each and every one of these issues and some others. Because there are others we could have raised tonight, you know, that we raise. Realize I ain't go back and ask him about Kentington and the payments and thing there again. I leave that alone. That one is a whole program for itself. Yeah? CBI is a whole issue and what is taking place there for itself. So we're going to discuss a lot of those. Folks, it's now 9 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. Time for me to go. It's been wonderful being here with all of you in everything you say and do. Do it safe and secure. Want to be speaking to and with you and definitely not about you. I'll be back on Wednesday, tomorrow evenings, really, starting from 6:30. There will be that meeting at Hotel Lorena out there in Carriacou, NNP Connect. So we will be broadcasting that via Talking Points, the Talking Points Network. We will be broadcasting that, so I will not be on. Yeah? I might look on, and I don't think it will finish before 9. Definitely in Carriacou. Yeah, the amount of things that people have to hear and so on in Carriacou, we won't finish before 9. So definitely, I'll be broadcasting that tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Wednesday with more talking points for you. Love each and every one of you. Do enjoy the rest of your night tonight. And, take care.
Eyes behind me. Talk to me tonight. Too many trials are true. I said too many tell me to remember. Come on, man, wave your hand. There is too much to give. I want to sing it again. To Lord, too many miles behind me. No matter what you go through, too many trials are true. I said too many tears help me to remember, but there is too much to give to Lord. Do so. Set up cross the hard burning desert. Sometimes I struggle. The right road to choose. Oh you do. But somewhere over there, there is cool, clear water, and defeat is one word. I don't you. Emancipation Park. Oh you do.